Ever wondered how people make movie props or tabletop miniatures look so realistic? Let's find out. Hi, my name is Josh and welcome to The Last Nerd. So a lot of creative people make things, you know, for cosplay, for props, for tabletop miniatures, collectibles, even 3D printing, and they clean it up and paint it up and all this stuff, and they get it to this brand new status, this brand new look. You know, it's all smooth and nice and shiny maybe, but that doesn't look very realistic. In order to ground these creations in reality, you have to add those imperfections in a process called weathering. Weathering is the practice of dirtying or scratching up perfect paint jobs or surfaces in order to make them look worn or used, like things get in real life. Things that you've fabricated have to look like they've lived a life of their own. Dirty things need to look dirty, cloth needs to be roughed and frayed, metal needs to be at least scratched up, if not, you know, rusty or oxidized, etc. In the movie making world, these little details are extremely important in order to make the story believable, especially when you have close-up shots of fabricated props and set design. No one wants to see a pristine Ash Williams that just came from S-Mart with a brand new, you know, jeans and shirt. He needs to look like he went through hell and back. In the tabletop gaming world, these details are less exaggerated and made smaller, you know, because it's for miniatures, but they're equally as important for a more immersive gameplay experience. Techniques for weathering on miniatures include dry brushing edges and detail brushing on scrapes and scratches, special paints and pigment powders, dip washes and oil washes, and pre-made effects like mud and grime.
Hello there, it is I, Earthman Brick, and today I'm just going to be talking about the weathering on this build. Now, you can see on the top here, we've got some greeny kind of moss, and the way we do that is we just take an old dip container, like this, add in some PVA, some green paint, this is just a tester pot, which you can get for dirt cheap, and you just shred up some toilet paper. Nice thin strips like this, then just shred it all up. Once you sort of mix it up and turn it into a mush, you can then just smudge it on. Now, I could talk about other techniques, like how we do rust, but I'll leave that for another time. Bye for now.
There are plenty other methods for weathering on miniatures, but I think you get the picture. So why do I bring up the film industry and the tabletop gaming industry in the same video? Well, there has been a product that has taken the world of hobbyists and tabletop gamers by storm that originates from the film industry. The product is Dirty Down's water-soluble effects paint. Note that this video is not sponsored, but I just really found this product fascinating and I wanted to try it out and share the process with you. Dirty Down is a company that has been making products for the film and TV industry since the 80s, and they have 3 products in particular that hobbyists have been using to suit their small-scale weathering needs. And those products are the 3 flavors of their water-soluble paint: rust, moss, and verdigris. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Verdigris.
So I ordered these bottles a while ago. As you can see, I opened them up on my original old workstation. And since then, they've just been sitting on a shelf waiting for me to test them out. So what's the hype surrounding these little things? Well, supposedly you can just slap them on your projects and boom, you'll have almost instant realistic oxidation effects. Like movie magic. Get it? 'Cause Dirty Down makes movie effects. Okay, I'll see myself out. Today I'm going to test these effects out on my diorama that I made in 5 easy steps. Check the link in the description if you'd like to know how to build this. Alright, so we're going to start off with our rust here. We're just going to shake it up like it says in the instructions. Crack her open. And I'm thinking because it's rust, You're gonna want to do it on more of like the steel-like metals. So I'm gonna probably put it on the machine, on this piece of machinery right here, and then on maybe a little bit on some of the pieces of these tanks. Oh, don't want to forget our water. Let's go for the machinery first. Just gonna dollop it on. So I would assume with this that the thick parts are gonna be a little more crusty and the thin parts are gonna be a little less so, but we'll find out once it dries out. Ooh, I think you can already start seeing it as it's drying right now. As you can see, it's starting to solidify even as we're sitting here. All right, so while the rust is drying, we're gonna go on to the verdigris over here. I'm thinking I'll put it on the statues because they're kind of bronzy coppery, and that's what verdigris is, so let's give that a good shake up. I really like it when it's light because the thinner part's already drying, and you can see on the rust on this, it adds like a nice little like oxidation sheen. But I'm interested to see what the thick parts are gonna do. Are they gonna like crust up? Okay, so now we have the moss. I know moss is not really a science fiction type, effect, but we're gonna put it in here anyways. I'm gonna try to put it in some of the little grass pockets here, see if you can have it. So it's like there's some vegetation has started to come back from all the wars that have ravaged here. Maybe this has been here for a really long time, and there hasn't been anybody here, but the life and vegetation has decided to try to flourish again. Okay, well, we're gonna let that all dry out, and we're gonna come back and check it out. Hopefully it won't take too long. So I came back about 3-4 minutes later to take a look at this, and honestly, I took a time lapse and I looked through it, and there isn't really much change from when I left. But I take a closer look and look at it. There's like so much here to like really dive into. It's really crusty. Look at like this rust. It's like you can see a range from like the kind of orange light stuff all the way to like the dark crusty. The pools turn into like a dark crustiness on both the rust and the verdigris. The moss, I'm not so sure about the moss. With all three of these though, after testing them on this, I feel I could do better if I did it again. But looking at it now with like the limited amount that I've put it on here, suffice to say the results of this product are very impressive. So one thing to know about these paints is that they are water soluble, which means that if you get them wet after applying them, then it most likely will reactivate the paint, which is kind of unfortunate, like con, I suppose. But let's test it out so we can start talking about it. So here's some rust I put down on some parchment paper. It's a little wet right here, but it's dry over here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit of the water that we had, still kind of, look at that, it's pretty grimy from all the different effects we've been doing it, but oh well, it's fine. We just need a little bit of water, and I'm just going to apply it to the thin part that's dried over here and see what happens. And look at that, it's acting as if it's like paint that it wasn't dried fully yet. But this was completely dry. I can touch the other part that was over here. It's completely dry. It's not coming off of my finger or anything. But if I put water on it, it comes right off. So it's not a complete issue unless you are planning on putting other effects or dip washes on top of it. I would just advise, if you're going to be using this, that you should not put dip washes on it. Or if you are, perhaps try testing out some sort of varnish or clear coat that's like spray on, because even I think like putting clear coat or varnish with a brush might have a chance of reactivating the paint. It's not a huge con. I think the results you get with the effect greatly outweigh it being water soluble. So now the price point. They're definitely not cheap, but they're worth every penny because the effects they produce are extraordinary, and they're so easy and they look so good. They might not hurt your wallet so much when you consider the following. Especially if you just use these for miniatures, you're gonna be getting a lot of bang for your buck and a lot of mileage out of these bottles. And especially even more if you buy only one bottle or two instead of all three. Again, this is not sponsored, this is just me speaking off of my heart and how I feel about these products. I hope you enjoyed this review of Dirty Downs, effects paints, and also this little discussion of weathering we had. And I hope that I was able to bestow upon you a little bit of movie magic that you can put into your future projects. And that's all for today, folks. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss another one of my uploads. And if you're feeling lucky, hit that share button and it will really help this channel to grow. Thanks everyone, and I will see you all in the next video.